Alright, it's going to be just a quick review and my opinions of the new Ruger LCP2. To my knowledge, this pistol's only been out a few weeks. I'm not going to go into the real technical specifications. I'm just going to give you my impressions of it and maybe compare it to a few other 380s in the same category. So far, I've only got around 100 to 150 rounds through it. I've had absolutely no malfunctions of any kind. So far, so far so good. Over what comes in the box, pretty basic. Got all your paperwork, warranty, NRA, telling you should join the NRA, which every gun owner should. Ruger decal, comes with one mag, has the pinky extension on it. You can focus there. Also comes with the flat floor plate down there in the bottom. I'm not going to dig it out. The gun, of course, and this Ruger pocket holster. Not really that big on pocket holsters, just not me personally. I prefer inside the waistband carry, even on a small gun like this. But it is nice that it comes with it, so that's pretty cool. Some of the things that kind of separate this from the original LCP and also the LCP Custom are, first off, you'll notice it's got a different grip. It's like a stippling on the grip. It's enlarged. The panels are kind of slightly enlarged. You got a little bit of stippling on the back strap here, a little bit on the front. You can see it there. Much better grip. On all of my LCPs I've had in the past, I've always added the hoe grip to get a little more thickness. Well, this does it for you. And the stippling is, real nice. It gives you a lot more grip than the original LCP or even the original with the hoe, which is what I've always used. Also, you notice you've got front and rear slide serrations. A little bit different design than just your standard serrations, but they are front and rear. Something else, you've got a totally different trigger. The gun is still hammered fired, but it is now single action hammer fired. So instead of you racking the slide, and then when you pull the trigger, it brings the hammer to the rear, and then you fire, it drops, and you're repeating that process every time of pulling the hammer back and dropping it when you pull the trigger. This cocks the hammer, and you're simply releasing the trigger when you pull it. On my trigger pull gauge, which I've got a Wheeler, it comes in around 5.5 pounds, which I think is great. It's got that initial little take up, you take the slack out, and then you hit a wall, and then it's just a nice, clean, crisp break after that. So the trigger pull here. So you got this little safety Glock style, which I am a fan of, or all these polymer wonder pistols, I guess you would call it style. But you got the little take up, you hit that wall, you just pull, just a clean snap. And I'm gonna lay the camera down so I can rack it. And you see the reset right there. Bam, again. Very nice trigger, very nice reset. Another thing is it's got sights of sorts. The original LCP didn't have much at all. It was kind of just a get off me gun, what I call it. This one has got, medium sights. The LCP Custom really has pretty decent sights in my opinion for what it is. But the problem with the Custom is they're not a snag-free design. You see the way these are real rounded. The Custom, which I'll bring in here in a minute, it's got kind of the sights are, they're good shooting sights, but they are a little bit, they'll snag coming out of your pocket, out of your pants. These are real snag-free design. One feature that I really like that this pistol needs is now it has last round hold open. So now on last round fired, it will lock the slide to the rear, which is a feature that is really nice. Something that you'll see on the M&P Bodyguard, which has always had, which I'll go ahead and throw it in. There's the M&P 380 Bodyguard. This is the model with no safety. By the way, all these guns that I'm showing are unloaded. Which I like the M&P. It's got good sights. They're snag free. They don't hang up. Good shooting gun. Never had any problems with it. Locks open on last round. Has a decent grip. But the trigger on the M&P, in my opinion, is just terrible. It's just terrible. It's just not that good. These two pistols are night and day when it comes to the trigger. But I have an M&P. It's a great gun. I'm not downing it, but I will admit, for the money and the price and everything concerned, I think the new LCP2 is much better. The M&P It comes with 2 mags, where the LCP2 doesn't. I actually, when I purchased this one, went ahead and got another mag. And that's something I'll go ahead and mention now. It will use your original LCP mags. Let me reach over here and grab one. Of course, at first glance, you can't tell a difference. That's the original on the left and the new one on the right. Only real differences I see are your base plates on the new one, which is on the right, is textured to match. And there's something different with the follower. If you use the original, it shoots and works fine. I've tried it, but it will not lock open on the last round. So, just going to the range and playing, plinking with it a little bit, these mags are fine. But it will not lock open on the last round, whereas the new ones will. So when you purchase your mags, just be aware, if you want to get an extra one, to make sure you get one that is for the LCP2. Alright, here it is next to my LCP Custom. It's the LCP Custom on the left with the red trigger, and the LCP2 on the right. The Custom, when it came out, I was really excited about it. I love it, and honestly, I haven't had any complaints on the Custom, other than I love the sights, but you see they're kind of a high profile and they're a little bit on the snaggy side versus the LCP2, or even throwing it in here, versus the Bodyguard. But as far as on the range shooting, it carries well. The type of carry that I do inside the waistband, the sights aren't too big of an issue, but it was still something that just kind of bothered me, and it could be an issue under stress. And the trigger, it's a vast improvement over the original LCP, which I do not have anymore. But between the two, I will admit the LCP2 trigger is better, but it's not a lot better. It's definitely an improvement. I wouldn't necessarily say go out and sell your Custom to buy the LCP2. But if you are in the market for a 380, I probably would recommend the LCP2. But that's just my personal preference. Neither one of them have a safety. The new one does have last round hold open, which is really nice. I kind of like the way the trigger guard design is on the new one. Let me swap these around. It's just a little bit more comfortable to me. I like the panels outraised. Like I said, I've got this Hogue grip added. I haven't took it off yet, so I guess that would be a more fair comparison. But this Hogue grip is nice. It's got a little bit of a texture to it. It's rubber. But I did it to add that little bit of thickness. You see how thin the slide is and how the grip is a little fatter. These LCPs are so thin, if you got a medium to a large hand, that gives you a little bit more purchase on it, with that little bit of extra grip, which that's something they kind of did with the LCP2. You probably can't tell, but you see how the slide is a little bit thinner than the grip. They outraised those panels just enough to give you that little bit of extra grip, which is exactly what I accomplished by adding the grip on the LCP Custom. So that's just something to keep in mind. The weight on these guns is a 1 ounce difference. The LCP2 is 1 ounce heavier, which, to be fair, I would say they're probably about the same ounce when you take in mind that I added this grip to them. Alright, I stopped the camera for a minute, actually, because I hadn't had a chance to weigh them, so I thought I would just go ahead and do it. On my scale, they actually came up to exactly the same weight. So I guess this little bit of rubber grip added to this one made up for the ounce difference, that it's supposed to be lighter versus this one being heavier. They weigh exactly the same on my scale. Anyway, like I said, great little pistol. I've had no problem with it. Very fast follow-up shots. The trigger reset is really nice. It's really clean, crisp break. Accuracy was spot on. Let me grab, I've got some targets here. Yeah, I kind of cut it out in an odd way. I had been shooting this target with a 22, so I just cut those out. But, cover up the Custom here. This was at 7 yards. The bottom target here was, and the bottom target and this left target were from a brace position, which, I thought was pretty good. And actually these two, this is 6 rounds and this is 5 rounds. Got a 22 here and here from other guns, but those were, just standing free-handed, not rapid fire, but just a good steady pace to where I felt I could control it. And that is, for me, out of a gun this size, that is excellent accuracy. You're just not going to get much better than that, I don't think, for something in this size, something you can just slip in your pocket and go. That's just, I thought that was really, really good for what it is, and I was definitely very, very happy with that. Over quickly, something I was worried about was if the LCP2, which is the Custom you see here, would fit into my current LCP holster. This is a Fox Little Fox inside the waistband holster with the comfort pad. I have a separate review on these holsters. I absolutely love these holsters. They are great. But I was really worried if it was going to fit that holster. See, there's the LCP Custom, and I didn't know if the LCP2 would fit because it is a different gun. I mean, it's still a LCP, but they've changed a lot about it. But as you can see here, it actually does fit. It's a little snug, but to be fair, this holster is fairly new. Like I said, I love these holsters. I have lots of them for other guns, but I just recently had purchased it for my LCP Custom. So this holster is a little new, so it's actually a little snug still with the LCP Custom. So it fits, definitely adequate. Not something it's not like I can't carry it. It's definitely going to work. I've been carrying it ever since I got it. Just working around the house and stuff. I just wanted something, I could carry lightly. And I mean, it's been great. I really do love it. I'll roll in a little bit more of some comparison shots of the LCP2 and the Custom, LCP Custom, and the M&P Bodyguard. May even throw my Glock 43 in there just for size comparison. But my impressions of it is great. I really like it. I would recommend it to anyone. If I was starting out again and had to pick up a 380 with what I know now, I would more than likely go with this one. In the future, I may sell one of these just because I don't really need three 380s. My girlfriend actually carries this exact one. She has a LCP Custom also, but of course she has the pink hoe grip on it instead of the black. And she has to shoot this. I told her, I was like, shoot it. I was like, if it's just not something, if you don't want to get rid of yours, nobody's going to blame you. This is still an excellent gun. I'm sure the price of these will go down considerably too because of this new one. They could even discontinue this Custom. I don't know, but she's going to have to make that decision for herself. She really liked this one when she felt it. I mean, her first reaction was, oh yeah, I got to get one of those. But she also was, needs to get out, shoot this one, compare it to her old one, and then make the decision. She's comfortable with this one. She knows how to shoot it. She's lethal with it if she needs to be. And if you're comfortable with it and it's doing the job, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Me, I just can't resist, a new gun when it comes out, so I had to try it, and I am happy that I did. I really do love it. So the hard decision is going to be which one of these I want to sell, because I have complaints with them, any of them. There are certain things I don't like about, all of them, but I like them all in a separate way. So it's going to be a tough to fit decision, but like I said, that's my opinions. I'm going to roll in some pictures and maybe some comparison videos, like I said, of these three a little bit closer up, and I may throw in my old faithful Glock 43 just for fun. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and happy shooting.